We all admire someone, a singer, an actor, an athlete, someone who inspires us. But how much admiration is too much? When does passion become obsession? When does loyalty become blind? And can philosophy help us tell the difference? Today we are putting fandom on trial.
Wow, my idol. 撒拉嘿，我爱你。
Hey, we need to go to class.
Later.
No, we will be late.
No.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Fandom Osix Challenge. With the rise of K-pop influences and fandom culture here in Malaysia, being a fan has become a huge part of many teenagers' lives. But have you ever wondered why admiration ends and obsession begins? Today we are going to explore 4 big questions from our research. First, can fandom culture have a positive impact on youth people's mental well-being? Second, is extreme idol worship becoming a modern form of worship, and where should we draw the line? Third, when celebrities behave unethically, why is blinding defunding them considered a social and ethical issue? And finally, how can students, schools, society, and the country encourage healthier and more responsible fandom? Here's how today's challenge works. I will ask a series of true or false questions. All 4 players will reveal their answers, explain why they chose them, and after them, our philosophy mentors will break everything down using ethical series. Let's get started! Alright, let's jump into question 1. If someone saves every cent for their idol, skips classes to join voting campaigns, and even raises money for fandom activities, would you say the overall benefits outweigh the downsides? True or false? Player A.
Yeah, supporting my idol makes me happy and I can make many friends in the theater, so I don't really mind spending the money.
No, I think it's false. Fandom is supposed to be fun, but it doesn't mean you should costing so much your time, your money, and even your health. And this kind of happiness you buy with cash is easily broken and lasting for a short time. I think the true admiration should from your heart and not costing your wallet and even your future.
You are completely wrong. Giving your idol is a true devotion. As long as you are willing, there is no such thing as right or wrong.
In Malaysia, some students even skip classes or spend too much money on idols. This goes against the national education philosophy, which encourages balanced personal development instead of unhealthy obsession.
Interesting. Looks like we've got some very different opinions already. So who's making the strongest argument here? Let's hand it over to Mentor A, who will explain this from the perspective of utilitarianism.
Utilitarianism judges goodness and badness of an action based on the total sum of pleasure and pain it brings. So there are 2 types of idol chasing that we're going to look at, short-term and long-term. So the short-term brings excitement, happiness, while the long-term starts to lead to bring financial strain, academic neglect, family conflicts, fan community disputes. So the overall suffering weighs the pleasure before and afterwards. Only moderate idol chasing does not interfere with real life, yield positive benefits.
Moving on to question 2. Imagine your favorite celebrity got involved in an ethical or even legal scandal. Should fans automatically defend them online, control public opinion, and support them no matter what? True or false?
Yes, I don't care what people say. I will always support my idol. My idol is my emotional anchor.
No, I don't care how much you love your idol, but love doesn't mean become blind to right and wrong. They are public figures. Millions of eyes are watching them. They are supposed to set a good example to those young souls. Not get a free pass just because they are famous. Cover up for their mistakes. Attacking the person who speaks the truth. That's not loyalty. Real fans point out mistakes. That's what really helps them grow.
You are such a contrarian. The outside world only seeks to maliciously smell our idol. We fans have a duty to defend him. We always stand with him against the whole world.
Wrong choice. We should think critically and judge based on facts, not emotions. Blindly defending celebrities goes against integrity and responsible citizenship.
Wow, that's definitely a fierce debate. And let's hear what Montabe has to say from the perspective of deontology.
Deontology holds that people must adhere to consistent, unified moral principles. Everyone has a moral obligation not to harm others, to distinguish between right and wrong, and abide by social ethics. Blindly whitewashing an idol and cyberbullying bystanders who voice criticism crosses a fundamental moral line. Admiring an idol requires upholding standards of right and wrong, and unconditionally tolerating those who have acted unethically violates a person's most basic moral responsibility.
Time for question 3. Does the way we support our idols actually shape who we become? In other words, does the blind fandom encourage unhealthy behavior while rational fandom helps us build good characters? True or false?
No, being a fan is just a hobby. It doesn't change a person's character.
I think it's true. I'm a living example. To be honest, I'm used to be very lazy and I don't want to try something new. But I found my idol. He worked very hard every day. So I watched how hard they work and I thought to myself, if they can work in such way, why can't I? So I got serious about my study, joined some voluntary job, and little by little I changed. Even my mom noticed I have grown up. So fandom isn't the problem, it's how you do it.
Wrong. Arguments within fan communities are just a minor online dispute. They don't affect a person's real life character.
Correct. True happiness comes from personal growth and self-improvement, not blind dependence on an idol. Healthy fandom should help us become better people.
Great discussion. Now let's invite Mentor B to explain this through the lens of virtue ethics.
The core of virtue ethics is evaluating whether an action fosters good character. Rational fandom centered on self-improvement cultivates virtues such as self-discipline, kindness, and a proactive spirit. Pathological, fanatical fandom, on the other hand, leads to blind conformity, paranoia, and aggression, fostering negative traits. The key criterion for distinguishing between healthy admiration and blind loyalty is whether fandom behavior contributes to the improvement of one's character.
Here comes a final challenge. If someone depends entirely on the idol for happiness, identity, and emotional support, would you consider that a modern form of personality called true or false?
Yeah, my idol is a big part of my life. I feel really lost without them.
Okay, I choose false. I'm not saying idols aren't important. They are. They give me motivation. They bring me joy. But my life is mine. I have my own dreams, my own friends, and my own path to work. If my idols disappear tomorrow, sure, I may be very upset. but I still wake up, still chase my goal. That's what healthy admiration looks like. Your idol can be the brightest star in your sky, but they can't be your only sun.
Correct. My idol is my spirit face. I'm willing to follow it completely.
Interact. Malaysian education encourages independent thinking. An idol can inspire us, but they should never define who we are.
Alright, one last analysis before we wrap things up. Let's hear from Mentor A, who's going to explain this using existentialism.
Existentialism emphasizes that people possess intrinsic values such as independent beings. While people need a sense of belonging and spiritual solace, fandom communities can serve as an emotional outlet. However, when individuals become completely dependent on idols, escape reality, abandon independent thinking, and lose their sense of self, it involves modern blind worship. Truly healthy fandom involves using idols' influence to improve oneself, rather than losing one's sense of self.
This question brings us back to one of our biggest research questions. Where exactly is the line between healthy admiration and blind worship? We've officially finished our 4 rounds. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. How does the idolization of celebrities with questionable morals affect society? And how does it relate to Malaysia's national education, philosophy, and rukun negara? Let's hear everyone's thoughts.
The goal of Malaysian education is to develop responsible citizens with good moral values. Healthy freedom can inspire people, but blind loyalty and self-bullying can go against these values.
Unrestrained idolization of flawed public figures conveys distorted values and leads to serious ethical and social problems.
Which corresponds to the third research question in the thesis.
And that's right for today's Fundamentals Challenge. Today we'll see that being fun isn't a problem. The real question is how we trust to support the people we admire. Healthy fandom can motivate us to become better, while blind obsession can make us lose our own judgment. So whether you are into K-pop, local influencers, athletes, or anyone else, remember, admire them but never lose yourself.
Hopefully, fandom inspire us.
Blind fandom control us.
Think critically, respect morality and responsibility.
Build your own identity.
Let your philosophy guide you.
Thank you.